Hey, what's up guys, welcome back to another video, where today I'm going to be talking about what I expect from the Dungeons update, what I think will come, and this is going to be partially based on the recent leaks and all the leaks and stuff, but it's also going to be more of what I think will happen and what I expect will happen, what I hope will happen, and stuff like that. Now in my post a couple days ago, 6 days ago I think, not a post, a video that I made called All 9 Features of the Dungeons update, I spoke about sub to 3 week. There you go. I spoke about what I think. I spoke less about what I think will happen in the Dungeons update, and more just about the known features that we had. But this video is going to be a bit different because, first of all, we have a lot of the information now, and second of all, I just want to speak to you guys about what I hope will happen, what I think will happen. I need to stop going into wars, and yeah. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. And let's get started. Now, the best thing for Hypixel to do in this update would be to make something scalable, and this is pretty important for the longevity of the game, because right now with the end update, it was cool for the first week or so, but then everyone ended up being completely done with everything there was to it, so there wasn't really anything fun to do anymore. Also, there has to be some interesting game mechanics and stuff to actually do, because all you can really do in the end now is sit there and grind zealots and just kill zealots for the whole day, or you can buy summoning eyes off the auction house and gamble them in dragon fights. Now, dungeons seem to be a perfect fix for that, especially considering they are apparently going to be scalable. The only thing that I'm slightly worried about is all the leaks that we've gotten so far are either randomly kind of useless items or mid-game items, and we have gotten a lot of leaks, meaning that there are a lot of random useless items or mid-game items that, to be fair, nobody in the end game is probably ever going to make because there's no need for them. So I feel like they're putting a bit too much effort into mid game and stuff. Now sure, it is important that they improve the mid game, because right now getting from mid game to end game is really hard, especially because of the massive inflation problem. If you guys don't know, once you're at the end game, you're going to be making money without end, non-stop, tons of money all the time. But when you're not at that point yet, it's really hard. And now it's really hard to transition from mid-game to end-game because of this and a couple other things. So that really hurts the game, because a lot of mid-game players are stuck, and then the end-game players are also stuck because there's nothing left to do. So enough rambling about how there's so many issues. Now let's talk about what I think will come in the next update. So we know about dungeons, and we know a little bit about how they're probably going to work, but one thing that we did see today is another leak from Miniclone, and in this leak from Miniclone there was some code, and it had 4 different difficulty types, and these 3 difficulties were beginner, strong, challenging, and oof at the end. So that seems to be that there's 4 different levels, which I hope there's a bit more than just 4 levels that are always the same. I'm guessing there's 4 classes, there's going to be 4 classes of difficulty. But within those difficulty groups, there's going to be lots of different kinds of dungeons. If we only get 4 different dungeons after all this time, that's going to be kind of lame, not going to lie. But I don't think we will. So what it's probably going to be is there's going to be these 4 classes, maybe some more that we don't know about yet, and there's going to be multiple kinds of dungeons within this. Now, another thing I think is there might be skills specific to certain mobs. So in the Tarantula Boots leak that we got a couple of days ago from Miniclone, it said requires spider level 4. Now initially I thought this was collections or something, but there is no spider collection, there is just string and spider eyes, but a simple spider collection doesn't seem to exist. So what I think from this is that there's going to be different kinds of skills for different kinds of mobs. So this is really good for the longevity of the game, because to level up all your different skills, you are going to have to spend time attacking every single different kind of mob. Right now, you just sort of go for the one mob that gives the most combat XP, or whatever XP you're looking for. You just do that forever, and it becomes really boring really quickly, but then again, there's nothing else to do. Like this, it would mean that you'd have to spend some time working on this kind of mob skill to get this ability. Then you spend some time working on this to get this, and you're going to have a good balance of doing all the different kinds of mobs that are going to exist and that already exist, meaning there's going to be a hell of a lot of things to do, which is awesome. So there's also going to be magic and stuff, which is, from what we know, it seems to be pretty interesting. It's going to be looks like it's going to be some sort of side thing to the game, but it's going to sort of interact with the whole game itself. So Windows is going to be wands, like healing wands and stuff like that. We've also seen these power mana orb things. So what I think is there's probably going to be a new skill, and this skill is going to be like what sort of wands and stuff you can use. I think the wizard portal is going to go not to like a combat area or anything like that, but it might go to some sort of mythical island, and this mythical island will be where you can speak to the wizards and trade or buy or do something to get these wands, stuff like that. Now, when do I think it's coming? In my opinion, it's definitely coming within the next 2 weeks. Hopefully this week. I'm not so sure anymore though. People were hoping, like every day people have been hoping, but people thought maybe yesterday, which was Tuesday, but it didn't come, nothing came. I didn't really think it would come on Tuesday anyway. Friday this week is possible, but at the same time, it could be the week after this. So, it's definitely going to be soon, because there are already a lot of leaks, and they seem to be getting pretty good progress done. But it's probably not really soon, like it's not going to be today or tomorrow. It might be, and I hope it will be, but I doubt it. Now, if you guys remember, the last update that came to SkyBlock, the 0.7.1 update, had an insane amount of bug fixes. So, whilst a lot of people were pretty disappointed, understandably, because it didn't really come with any features, I feel like that was a really good decision to make from Hypixel's point of view. Because it meant that now, like Javaman said, they can focus totally on making features. Because if they were standing there now, trying to balance, fixing the game and also making new content, which is getting pretty urgent now to the game, it would be pretty bad. It would be a pretty bad mess. So whilst it is disappointing that that update wasn't the Dungeons update, at the same time, it was a pretty good thing for them to do. In terms of monetization, I'm not sure how they're going to go about it from here, because they've already done quite a lot. So we have the runes, and we have what are they called? The things, the carpentry skill. Runes are pretty good, because if you don't know, people without a rank can't use any runes over level 5, so that is pretty good incentive. In terms of loot boxes, Javaman already said that they will not be implementing loot boxes into SkyBlock, which I think is pretty good, because especially when it's a long-term game, and where the items you get define how well you do in the game, I think loot boxes will be pretty boring and it would kind of suck. So the fact that they're not doing that is pretty good in my opinion. I also think that there's gonna be some sort of now there was mention from Hypixel a while ago of a new auction house that they're gonna be rolling. He said in August that it's rolling soon. It's in October, and we have zero sign of it, which is a bit annoying. I don't know if they're still doing that. I think they just did this fix to the auction house, but I don't really think that there's going to be a new auction house. I think they scrapped that. To be fair, that's also not that important compared to everything else. Now about dungeons themselves. So I already made a video a couple of days ago about where I think they'll be, and I still think there's going to be multiple kinds of dungeons, multiple kinds of mobs, and the way to get to those places isn't going to be simply with a portal. There might be some ones that are pretty easy to get to, but there's going to be some we have to really grind a lot of other stuff to get to them, which is going to be pretty cool. Now, I definitely hope that they reduce the amount of RNG in the next update, because in the end, everything you do is based on luck. Now, a bit of luck is always good, a bit of RNG is always nice to have, but literally, you can get completely screwed over, or you can get so lucky you break the economy yourself, based on your luck. If you do 5 dragons and get 5 superiors in a row, and get chest plates every time, you're gonna break the economy with your own hands. But if you do dragons and you get an old dragon and get fed every time, you're just gonna lose out so much. And to get the summoning eyes, there's also way too much RNG. The whole dragon process is just luck, and I really hope they reduce that, and it should be a lot less. It's always fine when there's drop rates that are reasonable, but when you're gonna be killing zealots for 5 hours on end and get nothing, and then this one dude comes, kills one Z-Lot, gets 10 summoning eyes from the one Z-Lot he killed. It's kind of unfair. So, I really hope that they really reduce the amount of luck that there's going to be. Now, I'm also going to mention what I think the bartender will be. So, if you guys don't know, there was a leak for a bartender NPC, or some kind of NPC below the bartender. And I think this is going to be some kind of new take on potions. So, right now we have potions, and they're all pretty much the same. They're just normal potions. They exist. They're not very interesting. But I think the bartender is going to give you different kind of drinks. So, if you go in here, there's this guy who doesn't do anything. And I think there's going to be some kind of NPCs here selling normal drinks that might have like small effects. Maybe the coffee will give you strength, like plus 10 strength for a minute or something like that. But down here, this is probably going to be like some sort of black market of drinks. And you're probably going to have to unlock this somehow, which is going to be pretty fun. And I think these drinks will be sort of the new kind of potions. They're going to be different in potions in that you're probably going to have to gain them differently. But for that, their stat boosts might be really overpowered. Now, another thing this could be is a new sort of fairy soul kind of thing where it gives you permanent stats. I'm not sure about this, to be honest. It might be the case, but I kind of doubt it. But at the same time, it wouldn't be too bad. Because right now, the only way to level up your base stats is through fairy souls. But yeah. Now, one thing that I do hope, and there is literally zero confirmation, there is nothing indicating this, but I hope there's going to be some changes to the bank, honestly. The bank right now is pretty boring. There's no reason to store more than 15 mil in the bank, because 15 mil gets 300k interest, and that is the cap. And also, there's no way to like increase your bank capacity, there's no way to increase how much interest you get, stuff like that. That should be a really cool thing. It could be really fun to be able to grind out your bank and get to a point where you can get a lot of interest. And this would also be a really easy thing for Hypixel to do. It wouldn't take that much effort, and it would give everyone an entirely new part of the game to think about, to grind about. So, I really hope that they do some kind of way to upgrade your bank, to upgrade your interest rates. Also, the whole thing with the 50 mil cap is kind of stupid. Especially now the interest is capped anyway. There's literally no reason to cap the money in the bank. And storing money in the auction house like this shouldn't have to be the only way to store extra money. So, I'm not sure why the cap is still there, and I really hope they add some interesting cool ways to improve the bank in the next update. Now, another thing is the Colosseum. So, Jarvan did post a tweet talking about improving the Colosseum, and trying to figure out what PvP could be in SkyBlock. This definitely isn't coming this update, but I think it'll be something cool to think about for the one afterwards. So, something that will definitely help the game's longevity is events. So, if they made events where every week or so there'll be some kind of new tournaments where players of different classes, and these classes would either be based on your skills or your armor and stuff, would compete against each other to win cool prizes. This would be a really cool way to like implement PvP, as well as giving people more incentive to get better gear. Especially if they add like custom items that you can only get from events. That would be really cool in my opinion. So I'm pretty hyped for that, but at the same time, it's probably not going to be in the next update. And you can't expect them to do 10 updates in one, so that's totally understandable. I also really hope that the blacksmith gets a bit of an overhaul, because right now it's probably the most boring mechanism for a game ever. You just click a bunch of times, use all your money, and hope to get a thing. To get a word on your armor or your sword. And the way that it works is just so boring, it's so bad. Jarvan did say that he was planning on improving and revamping the blacksmith. I haven't seen any sign of that, but at the same time it might be a new thing that's coming in the update, considering he said that like a month ago. And I find it really cool to have some sort of way to like level up your blacksmith skills. Again, stuff like this is going to be really easy for Hypixel to do, and it will add a lot of new stuff for everyone to grind. So, I think it'd be really cool if you could like grind out the blacksmith. There'd be some sort of new thing. He'd have quests for you to do, and these quests would be like to get him certain items, and doing these things will let him earn your trust, and then he'll be able to like give you better reforges quicker and stuff like that. And that brings me into my next part, quests. Right now, quests in SkyBlock are completely useless. If we look in the quest log, these are all the quests, all of them are super early game, apart from the end one. Like, the only one that you can't do on the first day is this one here. And even this, like, it doesn't do anything, it's just telling you a few things to do, which I guess was alright in the beginning. But I wouldn't really call this a quest, it's just like a checklist of what to do. Quests would be something where you go to a person, they assign you something to do, and you get really good rewards from that. Quests would probably be really cool, and I'd like something like weekly quests. And I don't mean quests that reset every week, I mean weekly different quests. So, the developers could think of some cool idea every week, and this could even tie into tournaments. Like, you could have a quest, and the people who get the most or do the most of this and this will win something. If the game had like a storyline like that, it'd be a lot more fun in my opinion. Because right now there is a bit of a storyline, like this village is a thing and there's all these houses, but there isn't really any story of how the village came to be, and you don't really fit into anything here. So I find it really cool if they work on getting a proper story to this whole game. But yeah, that's basically gonna wrap it up for this video. Be sure to comment what your most anticipated feature for the next update is. I'll feature it in the next video if I find a good one. So if you have a really good idea, or if there's one thing that you would really want to see in the next update, let me know and I'll feature it. I might talk a little bit about it. Another thing is, I am going to be giving away an aspect of the dragons pretty soon. This one here, as well as all these talismans and a bunch of other stuff. Pretty soon with Not Giovanni, probably within the next week or so. So subscribe so that you guys will be able to like know when it happens. And yeah, thank you so much for the support, and see you guys next time. Goodbye.